Alright, sprinting along. Grab that treasure, or roll for it rather. Flash, grab these guys. Flash and grab this guy. And one more flash to grab these guys. Then fight or flight. Circle of Scorn. Spam Total Eclipse. I'm going to use Bulwark because there's a lot of enemies here. Make the healer's life a little bit easier. But yeah, that's really all there is to it. You know, it's not very hard. This dungeons, especially. I mean, major boss fights on extreme mode are hard, but they're hard for all classes. So, I wouldn't say tanks are any more difficult to play than other classes. See, my hit points were getting low there. I was about to heal myself. As a general rule of thumb, I'll go to heal myself if I'm at 25% hit points or lower, and I don't see the healer casting a heal spell. I will usually heal myself. Now, a lot of healers, you know, they have instant heal spells that they'll use on me, and my heal will be wasted, but it's better than dying, so. Always be ready to heal yourself. Alright, so we get another large pull. I'm going to flash, pull to that. Reset, pull some more. Grab some threat on some more. And then we're going to sprint up here. And grab these guys. I'm gonna activate Anticipation. That raises the parry rate, reducing the damage that I take. Shouldn't have stood in that AoE. My hit points are low, so I'm going to heal myself real quick. And I mean, it really is this easy. I just got the controller here. I'm just pressing one button while I move around, pretty much. I will, I'll use some mitigation, just because it's a polite thing to do. Plus, it lets your healer do more DPS, and more DPS means less, the fight doesn't last as long, and that means less damage you take, even less they have to heal you. I mean, it all adds up, so. Alright, we're on to boss number 2. We're going to apply our dot, then we're going to do our magic DPS rotation. Actually, no, I used fight or flight, so I'm going to do the physical DPS rotation. I should have used some mitigation there. That was a tank buster. I don't know if I'll have an opportunity this dungeon to use Passage of Arms, but I'll try. Alright, so we're on the magic DPS rotation now. He's using Tank Buster, so I'm going to mitigate. Alright, we're out of magic points, so back to the physical DPS rotation. Gonna wait a couple seconds for fight or flight to get back off a cooldown. Get that extra Goring Blade in before the buff wears off. Unfortunately, you can't get 2 Circle of Scorns in. Just short of having enough time to get 2 Circle of Scorns in. Grab him with Flash. Move into position. And he should be just about done. Alright, on to the last leg of this dungeon. I know we're coming up on 15 minutes. Gonna try to get it done in time. I have a feeling it's gonna be a little bit long though. With random parties like this, it really, how fast you get to the dungeon really depends on the DPS, how good they are. And also, you know, what class they are, because when I'm doing large pulls like these, we want DPS classes that have good AoE damage. Oh, this worm got away from me, so gotta grab it back. And I'm going to use Bulwark because taking a lot of damage there. I do forget to use it sometimes, if I'm being honest, just because healers are so good. I mean, healers, if you get a good heal, I can usually tell within the first 10 minutes, 5 minutes of a dungeon if the healer's good or not. And if they're good, then I kind of get lazy. Now this guy's okay. He's not great, but he's okay. Alright, this is the last pull for the last boss. We're almost done here. It's also the hardest pull. I remember when this dungeon first came out, healers couldn't get me through it. I mean, it was probably partially my fault because my gear wasn't great, and their fault because their gear wasn't great. So yeah, when this first dungeon came out, if I tried to pull all these mobs on this last pull, oftentimes we would wipe. But it didn't take long for everybody to kind of step up their game a little bit, and now I don't even ask the healer anymore if they can handle this pull. I just do it. If things get sticky on this pull, I'll use Hallowed Ground. I want to point out, so when you use Hallowed Ground in a dungeon on a large pull like this, a lot of times the healer will notice because you're not taking damage all of a sudden, and they won't be ready for it when the Hallowed Ground ends and you start taking damage again. All of a sudden you're gonna take lots of damage very suddenly, and a lot of times they won't be ready to heal you in time. I've died a couple times like this, and so what you want to do is when Hallowed Ground ends in this kind of situation, you want to use some mitigation like Sentinel or Rampart. Give yourself some extra time so the healer can realize, oh, you know, he's not invulnerable anymore. I got to do my job again. All right, here we are to the last boss. Gonna start my magic rotation first. Doesn't really matter which one you do first. I'm sure it's optimal to do one over the other. Probably the physical DPS one is better to do first, just so you can get that dot up. But it's not going to make that much of a difference. Oh, I missed that tank buster. I should have mitigated that tank buster. Alright, so we should be safe right here from that AoE. I'm gonna shield lob that, break that guy out of the ice. And I still got the Goring Blade up in time. Now I'm going to switch over to Sword Oath because we don't need a tank during this phase of the fight. So we're going to do that extra damage because we do have a kind of a time limit here as that AoE expands. Let's see which one is weaker. Alright. Now, had I seen the arrow on the guy, I would have used cover on him. But I can't always see the arrow on the guy in this fight because I didn't get hit by it. I thought I did. I got my rotation got a little screwed up there. Now, fortunately, the Paladin's rotations aren't too involved. So if you make a mistake, you're not doing much DPS to begin with, but you're not losing much if you make a mistake in a Paladin's rotation because they're so simple. I'm going to try to use Passage of Arms here. It really depends on if I get frozen or not. Alright, so here, I can use it here. I mean, I doubt they'll get behind me in time, but... And here we're about to wrap up the fight. Notice how I'll always use, whenever I start my DPS rotation, I always use Circle of Scorn and Spirits Within right after the fight or flight buff that I put up. Because it does affect those abilities and they're instant, so they don't interrupt my skill chain at all. There's no global cooldown on them. And that's all she wrote. Alright, thanks for watching. I hope seeing some real-time application of playing a Paladin was helpful. And if you have any questions, be sure to reach out to me in-game. Alright, thanks a lot, and bye-bye.